Generally, I do this with somebody lying down, okay? And so we'll pretend like she's lying down. So this is all that, and again, you mainly would do this, you know, you could do this on yourself, so everybody can, you know, go along with me and do this. Take the heel of your hand behind the occipital bone, and then one on the front. Okay, pull up, take a breath, and then breathe. And then when you breathe, push in. Do it 3 times. Pull up, and then breathe. And then breathe. Okay, that's stimulating the pituitary up here in the brain. Okay, the next move that you do.
Oh, we gotta write this.
Yeah, we gotta write this.
Yeah.
Okay.
So hand on
Squeeze pretty
head.
hard.
Yeah, you squeeze pretty hard. The next move, when they're, if you're lying down, you're going to take your hands and you're going to, on the inside of your knees. I want everybody to do that on the inside of your knees. Do one at a time. And this is a juncture point for your liver, gallbladder, and spleen.
Really?
Okay? And if you have some hormonal imbalances, usually that will feel like it is on fire. Okay?
It's tender, but it doesn't burn.
Yeah.
Is that
So
Mine doesn't hurt.
Mine does.
Mine hurts.
So that's liver,
gallbladder and spleen.
gallbladder, and spleen.
The next turn-on point is called the ears. Okay? Where they're joined. Okay, right down here at the bottom. And along the edge of the lobe. Okay, again, the ear lobe. This is the turn-on point for your brain. Okay, so just grab your ears and then pull. Circular motion and then pull. Okay, and then that just helps to turn your brain on if you're feeling foggy. Okay.
Ooh.
It also helps with vision. You know, the main point that pirates would pierce in their ear, they did that thousands of years ago because it would help their vision. That's why they pierce their ears with a gold earring. Gold stimulates a point. Silver sedates a point. So depending on whether you have gold or silver in your ear, you're either stimulating that point that you have punctured or you're sedating it. Okay.
Whoa, no wonder that,
That's all I
yeah.
wear is
No wonder it's starting to wear gold now, huh?
and I can go back and leave my glasses.
Silver.
So circular motion, pull down like the baby. Okay, and you can also incorporate pulling down on the outside of that ear for relaxing the brain. If you want to relax it, if you want to stimulate it, just do the brain. Okay, if you want to relax it, do the baby move. Outside and pull down. Okay.
Outside and pull down.
Remember that relax tranquilizer point like the baby does.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The next point are the eye points, and again, you could do this on yourself. This is a very sensitive point for somebody that has a bladder infection. Let's turn this one. Or UTI.
Ooh,
Just take your fingers and right here on that inner circle of your orbit, just pull up. That's bladder one. Okay.
So can you do it with like your thumb and your finger
Yeah.
too, just to pull up, or do you have to
Actually,
do
if it's for myself, I take my thumb.
That's hilarious.
it? Get your eyes open.
I
look
found this
surprised.
one new, Nancy. You started the class
So if
this
it's-
way.
yeah,
If you do it on somebody else, though, you want to pull up. Okay? So that's the bladder. The nose. This is for constipation. Again, you can either use the ears. Remember that high point on the horseshoe bend? That's for your large intestine. That's usually,
So do
when
the
you're
horseshoe bend.
constipated, that's what gets sluggish.
What about the reverse?
Chris.
You didn't want to touch that area.
Well, actually, what you could do is use orange or lavender. You want to use peppermint to stimulate that point. Okay.
If I'm going too much.
If you're going too much, then what you do is you take orange and you go backwards on the stomach. The other thing that you do, you take the heels of your hands and you rub your ribs. That's your small intestine. Okay.
Okay, so on the nose, what are you doing? Because
Okay.
it says nose.
Yes.
Just got to the nose.
So on the nose, right here on the side. Some people
On
get
that
the
little
inside of
bit?
their nose pierced. You've seen those piercings too? Start seeing if they're having any constipation problems or irritable bowel problems.
So you're actually touching the nose, not the skin, not that dip right in there. It's right there in that,
It's right at the dip.
right at the dip.
And are you pushing?
The tip of your nose.
And people get piercing.
I don't know. Can you come in? Okay, is it?
Now she,
Take your fingers, go down the bridge of your nose, and then where it lands. Right there.
Right at the end of it? At the end of the nose.
So I
Okay,
have a little
gotcha.
ball.
she likes to use her fingernails.
Yeah. Your fingernails are actually your
Little acupressure.
acupressure.
Oh, so
this-
and it should hurt a little bit because then you'll release that pressure.
Yeah.
Well,
How many here have had acupuncture?
Don't need to be doing
Okay. So anyway, it's Nancy, when did you start having acupuncture?
Probably 2 years ago. 2 years ago, because for stomach problems, and it worked really, really good. I could leave because you couldn't touch my stomach, and I have little valves and pockets. It just restores the blood flow, and you lay there and bake. I mean, if I can be quiet for 30 minutes, it's nice.
So what happens with acupuncture is they're actually inserting a needle into specific acupuncture points, and they follow along these different turn-on points or meridian points where the flow of the energy has been disrupted. And when the energy has been disrupted, then there's a backflow, kind of like a dam, okay? And then you get a buildup. And that's why with the stomach, you know, if you wake up in the morning with a stomach headache, you want to rub the sides of your eyes, and that will help open up that whole stomach meridian. So,
And if you're local, Wellness Concepts does a great job with the acupuncture, and they're not going to set you up on 500 appointments, and it doesn't hurt. I mean, it's just weird. It just doesn't hurt. It's just
Where's that, Nancy? Where?
it's,
Wellness Concepts.
Yeah.
it's a clinic that actually Jill and I have been friends for years, and I worked with her and helped start this clinic, and now she has her son and daughter-in-law in there that are chiropractors, but Jill is the most wonderful acupuncturist.
She really is.
And anyway, my daughter's going to her now for whiplash. And anyway, she, because it's extending, then the regular medical doctor actually is advocating for her to go to acupuncture as often as she can, so she does that routinely. But then for insurance reasons, they have to go to the traditional physical therapist. And Heather says she can be, after going to acupuncture, she is without pain for 6 hours. But when she goes to the physical therapist on the off days, you know, it's temporary, you know, at the most. So anyway, it's another good tool, you know, to be aware of or to explore.
Is that helpful at all with curvature of the spine or?
Well, of curvature of the spine, you're going to have a lot of muscle tension, okay? So it helps with relaxing those specific muscle groups. Okay, the next one is the lips. And we already went over that one, your circuit breaker. Okay. The next one is the neck, the neurolymphatic points on the neck. And basically, on the neck, there is right, you know, by the cervical plexus here is what they call it, tons of lymphatic points right in here. You want to be very, very careful, because if you apply too much pressure, that's your carotid artery, okay, and that can make you faint. And some people faint from some people will faint just from a bearing down, like if you're constipated, because they're closing off that carotid artery. Okay? So you want to be very careful with your dry skin brushing, but very important to, you know, keep it gently massaged. Do you have skin brushes here? Okay. So you could get those.
I've got the facial. I have a facial one that's really nice.
Yeah, so you can use the facial brush, you know, and when you're doing that, you know, go down. What do they call this area?
Décolletage.
Décolletage. So do the entire décolletage. because
Use your
also
little brush.
right around the chest are also major lymphatics. And if I hold your arms up, armpits, major lymphatics, and that's why Nancy has gone to using aluminum-free deodorant. Thank you. Because otherwise you're getting that aluminum toxicity into your lymph system, which is very, very toxic to the blood. So you want to be very careful with what chemicals you put around this area of the body, this area of the body, and your neck. So then you get to your synthetic perfumes. You know, you want to be very careful with synthetic perfumes. I mean, your pure essential oils are much more natural and therapeutic than the synthetic scent, you know, the chemicals from.
Can I add, my daughter, we mixed up lavender and peppermint because she's allergic to mosquitoes, and we were in St. Louis, and we were going down the road in the car, and she like her mother talks with her hands, and I'm going, what perfume do you have on? She goes, nothing. And she's going like this, and it was the lavender and peppermint, you guys. It took on just this beautiful scent with her body, you know, chemistry. And
Well,
she
I'm
goes,
glad
"Oh
you
my
said
gosh."
that, body chemistry. Everybody's body chemistry is going to respond differently to, you know, these different scents.
It was beautiful. She goes, I think lavender and peppermint.
Really? 'Cause there's a lot of consultants that still use perfume. You know, that's a choice, but you know, it's just like aluminum deodorant. It's just a choice.
You know, one thing that I like to do, you know, besides using the aluminum-free deodorant, just the spritzer in between is wonderful under your armpits, you know, during the day. What is in the spritzer? You know, like the spray.
It has an essential oil modifier that grabs the essential oil and helps it to bind to it so it holds it. So we've got lemon, lavender and mint, grapefruit and lime, the happiness.
But it helps with perspiration. You know, I don't know if that's
The
sea
lemongrass
salt.
and citrus does too.
Okay. So anyway, keeping, you know, a little bottle of that, you know, on hand too will be helpful. Okay, shoulders. We live in a society where the shoulders, unfortunately, come up to the top of the head. Key, let's turn you backwards. Key shoulder points. You know, you spoke about your husband. And the thing is that the shoulders, you know, this whole muscle group called the levator scapula muscles, okay, they don't end just here on the neck. They then connect, the body is all connected. They connect to this trap muscle, okay, and then to your rhomboid muscles, okay, but also the levator scapular muscles that go up the neck connect with this whole scalp muscle. So the more relaxed you are in your shoulders and neck, the more relaxed your face is going to be. Okay, so that's a great tip for anti-aging. You know, as above, so below. And so if you want your face to look calm and nourished, you need the energy flowing in your neck and shoulders. Okay, so some anointing points on the neck and shoulders. On the neck, you have two. One is right here in this hollow of your occipital, okay? So you can put an anointing oil there. The other two are those two bony prominences on the back of your neck, okay? So those are two other anointing points. And then on your shoulders, then you want to go down and you'll find the tender point, and it's usually halfway between. Okay. And you can actually just apply, you know, constant pressure and then release. Constant pressure and then release. This is acupressure, okay? Constant pressure and then release, okay? So you could do that on yourself. Constant pressure, take a deep breath, and then release. Constant pressure, take a deep breath, and release. And you could anoint those oils to those points. Okay. Okay, the next one is the arms. Okay, we'll turn around the other way. Turning the arms on is very important because there's several different meridians going up and down the arms. Okay. Well, first of all, start with meridians that go down the arms. This is called flushing the arm down. Purposeful bathing with Jordan Essentials, or application of your lotions. That's what you can use at your parties. Okay. We're going to start with number 1, lung to the thumb.
Lung.
Everybody find your lung point. This is another anointing point if you're having lung problems, eucalyptus or tea tree.
Just right there in the
It's a,
Like right
you'll
below
feel
your
it, everybody
collarbone.
can feel it in that hollow. Okay? Okay. Now I want you to do what we call is a meridian crawl. You want to crawl with your fingertips down the inside of your arm. If you find a point that is tender, you just tap it, and the acupressure turns that on. Okay? Now keep crawling. And then you find another point, tap it, keep crawling, and then you get down to the thumb. Okay? So the thumb actually ends on the inside nail bed. So take your acupressure tool, your nail bed, and then you just want to stimulate that inside point of your thumb. Okay? So now, this is how quick it will look. Lung to the thumb. Lung to the thumb. And then the other side.
And then you walk it down or not? Because you didn't walk. Did you walk or did you run right then?
Actually, you can do it while you're walking. Many athletes.
Well, no, I meant because you were saying to do this, and then you're
Oh, yeah.
going zoom, and I was like
Yeah.
going, you're walking.
No, this is for opening up one of those points. This is to
right
activate it.
Gotcha.
If you're short of breath, you'll see runners, professional runners that know all these turn-on points, and while they're running, you'll see them
swimmers.
going like this.
Yes.
Or shaking, yes, because that opens up, you know, the 3 major pathways. Yes. So, the second one going down is circulation sex. And it starts at that same juncture point, that tender point. And this one goes down the top of your arm, find your tender points, and you're going to go all the way down to that middle finger. Okay,
So it's on the top,
top,
Side on top.
top, all the way down
top to the middle.
And if you're doing it on somebody else or demonstrating, you can just do a slight shake, like she said, shaking the arm, and that just kind of helps open it up too. Okay?
Circulation, you said?
Circulation sex. Okay, doing it quickly in the shower with your loofah, like that. Okay? And you can see you're going to get all 3 of these.
Yeah.
Okay. The next one is the heart. The heart starts behind the shoulder blade. Anybody here have any heart issues?
Apparently I do.
Have you ever had any pain going down your arms?
Mm-hmm.
And where does the pain usually go? To your thumb? Then the lungs are involved. Okay. But generally, when someone has a heart attack, the what do you call it? The sign in CPR is usually the pain goes from the shoulder blade
Around.
and it goes down the outside of the arm and it ends on the fingertip of the pinky. Okay. So if you're having pain going down the outside of the arm, starting at the shoulder blade, you know, the shoulder blade though can many times mimic gallbladder. So many times when somebody comes into the ER thinking they're having a heart attack, it's really their gallbladder. Okay? Because that's a gallbladder point on the shoulder blade. But if it goes all the way down the arm to the little pinky, that's the heart. Okay, pericardium.
Interesting. That's why so many women have, that's their heart attack sign, is that radiating pain.
Yep.
Well, my papa, when he had his heart attack, that was, and he lived to tell about it afterwards. That was his telltale sign, was that his arm was hurting like that. And that's when he told Nana to call the doctor. I hadn't heard that. That's wild.
This is a tidbit. I learned this from an elderly nurse that taught Touch for Health. And she said that her husband was in the middle of having a heart attack. She lived way out in the country, and she knew by the time she called the ambulance it'd be too late. And she had to drive. So what she did, she had her husband bite on the tips of his fingers, and what that does, it's like a circuit breaker, or it's like a jumper cable, and it kept that heart meridian open until she could get to the ER. I have used that on 2 different occasions with friends of mine that were in the middle of a heart attack, and I was in the ambulance with them, biting on their fingers, and both of them, the doctors couldn't believe they had no heart damage, you know, by the time he got there.
My grandmother.
So that was worth coming for.
That's your emergency.
I don't know. The tips of their pinkies, just
Yep.
right, not the
Faith,
whole
you-
thing. That is wild.
And you said like this is heart and this is circulation. What was the inside for?
Lung.
Lung. Thank you.
And anyway, there was another story about someone who, you know, had collapsed, and this person knew about this, didn't know about CPR, and that's all that they did, and it was enough to, you know, like a jumper cable, you know, wake them up.
Where exactly do you, I mean,
It doesn't matter.
just
You just bite.
Hard?
Huh?
Hard? Or, I mean, strong pressure?
Yeah, I mean, just pretty hard.
it
Yeah.
shouldn't feel good.
Yeah.
Shouldn't feel good.
Yeah.
It's not a massage, not a massage.
And Faith, you were talking about the heart, and you're pointing to the left side. Does it matter what side, or is it only the left side?
Nope, both
Thank you.
arms.
Okay.
Yep. Both arms have the same meridians.
Okay.
Okay, so review. Inside is lung.
Lung to the thumb.
Lung to the
That's
thumb.
your acronym, lung to the thumb. And then circulation sex, that's a different meridian than heart.
Yeah, that's down the middle.
Yep.
To the middle finger.
Are you saying sex?
Sex, S-E-X.
Sex.
So hormonal.
You know what that is,
It
Beth?
could be hormonal.
It's been a while, Kenny.
And then the outside is your heart. Pericardium. Okay, so the arms, like I said, you know, for doing on yourself, what you can do is do your skin brushing all the way down. If you're working on a loved one, I would massage the whole arm down. That gets the lung, the circulation, and the heart. And then what I do, I take the lung and the heart, and I just gently do a little squiggle.
Massage down and squiggle.
So I want everybody to turn to a partner, and I want you to do that to your partner.
Please, pretty good.
I'm ready.
Okay, so you're going to start here, and you're going to just, and then when you get down to the bottom, then take the, and then just gently, and then after you do the lung and the heart, then do your circulation.
Oh, that jumper cable thing.
Squiggle. Because you got to hang on to the heart and the heart and But you're like me, it's like we're supporting, here's our squiggle, we're like, we're like, okay, squiggle, I can't do that. I get my nails done and there I slap in my hand, relax, relax, I said, I am! Oh, I'm here.
Well, then I get it worse when you touch
The squiggle passes.
I know, I was like,
We're squiggling and we're like this. I can't even do that.
look at my wiggle. Look at that wiggle. Amazing. Oh, I don't wiggle. Look at that jiggle. What is wrong with your arm? With your elbow. All right.
Okay, now the middle finger. Remember our favorite middle finger, our anger finger? Another important finger to release. And so, circulation sex.
Anger.
Finger.
So just do a gentle rocking of that too, and then at the end, you just do a little pop. And that opens it up too. Because the little pull at the end, that opens up the brain. Okay?
Oh.
And when you're opening up the brain, you know, it fires a lot of chemistry in the brain. But one of the most important taps is on the pituitary, at this soft spot on the top of your head called the GV20. So I want everybody to do this. Is it tender? Yeah. Yes. Hormones, weight loss.
Oh. Oh, tapping that on there.
Okay, and then the big toe is also very, very good, you know, for your spleen, you know, for any blood disorders, anemia, things like that.
Really?
So just hold it, the big toe, and it can be so sensitive.
Hold for Redfern.
Did you just hold it?
Or massage it, or get a pedicure, because
Or
usually,
if you're getting pedicure.
you know, think of it. I mean, if you have an ingrown toe, where's it going to be? It's going to be on your big toe, right? So very important to make sure you do not have ingrown toenails, because, you know, it's affecting especially your spleen. But the other thing that it affects, starting at the big toe, going down the outside, is your neck. So if you feel your big toe, and if it's sensitive on that outside, then you probably have some neck issues going on too. Okay?
A question. So would that have, if somebody has an ingrown toenail, would that have anything to do with weight loss at all? No.
Okay.
So how does it relieve the anemia? Like what? How does it?
I wouldn't say that it relieved the anemia. We never want to make claims like that. But it is the acupuncture point for anemia. That they would actually put needles into that corner toenail.
So how would it? Like how does that help?
Well, it stimulates the spleen, you know, to help with production of.
Yeah, because I'm anemic.
Yes.
So.
Well, you need to also, the nutritional aspect needs to be addressed.
Yeah.
But yes, you need to work on your spleen point. Okay, so those are body turn-on points.